Now let's see the chapter 10 of Companies Act, which is all about auditors, their appointment, removal, their resignations, and the powers of auditors, what auditors can do, which services they can render, which services they are prohibited from rendering. All these details we will see in this chapter 10 of Companies Act 2013. In this chapter, there are 10 sections from 139 to 148. Now, first section 139. The first auditor for a non government company should be appointed by board of directors. The time limit to appoint is 30 days. If the board fails to appoint the auditor, then the members of the company will appoint the auditor within next 90 days using extraordinary general meeting. And the tenure, the person who is appointed will continue till the conclusion of first AGM. For a non government company, before is for a non government company first auditor, for a non government company subsequent auditor will be appointed in AGM. He will continue the working or auditing the company from first AGM to till conclusion of sixth AGM for a period of 5 years. Now, for a government company, the first auditor is appointed by CAG, Controller and Auditor General of India. Time limit to appoint is 60 days. 60 days for a government company first auditor appointment, for a non government company 30 days. There the board appoints, here the government, in the government company the controller and auditor general appoints. Here it's 60 days. If CAG, controller and auditor general of India, fails to appoint the auditor in the first auditor, then the board of the members have to appoint in next 30 days. If the board fails, then in the next 60 days the members will appoint the auditor at extraordinary general meeting. And here also the tenure is till conclusion of first AGM. Now subsequent auditor for a government company, here also the subsequent auditor is appointed by Controller and Auditor General of India. Time limit here is 180 days. For normal auditor appointing in government company, first time auditor appointing 60 days. Here for subsequent auditor appointing 180 days. And there are some sections, subsections about rotation of auditors. For listed company, rotation is mandatory. For unlisted company, the paid up capital should be minimum greater than or equal to 10 crore. Then they have to appoint auditor. For a private company, paid up capital should be greater than or equal to 50 crores to appoint auditor. For any company with borrowings from banks greater than or equal to 50 crores in any financial year, or even if they have public deposits greater than or equal to 50 crore, then they have to appoint auditor. Listed companies compulsory, unlisted paid up capital 10 crore, private company paid up capital 50 crore, any company with borrowings or acceptance of deposits greater than 50 crore. And OPC companies means one person companies and small companies are exempted from auditor appointment. Once the auditor is appointed, see, either an individual CA guy can be appointed as auditor, or even a firm which consists of majority of people practicing CA can be appointed. For a firm, the tenure is 5 years. For a CA guy, the tenure is 5 years. For an individual, the cooling off period is 5 years. For an audit firm, the cooling off period is again 5 years. But an individual cannot be reappointed after one tenure, but a firm can be appointed after 5 years also to a maximum period of 10 years. Then, after the cooling period is 5 years. For appointment of auditor, the form required is ADT 1, and it should be done within 15 days is the deadline. ADT 1. And for resignation of the auditor, for removal of auditor, ADT 2. For resignation of auditor, ADT 3. ADT 1 for appointment, 2 for removal, ADT 3 for resignation. For if any vacancy is there in the time of auditor, vacancy is there in any annual year, for a casual vacancy, in case of government company, controller and auditor general will appoint in next 30 days, or else if he fails, the board will do in next 30 days. For a non-government company, board have 30 days time to fill up an auditor for casual vacancy. Auditor has to file the statement with company plus a ROC about his resignation in ADT 3. Here the time period is 30 days. GM approval for a non-government company, 3 months is the time period. If removal is through ADT 2 within 30 days. GM after central government approval, 60 days. Resolution, special resolution is required, 75% of resolution, 75% voting power of the members to remove an auditor. And ADT 2 is the form within 30 days. ADT 2 should be filled, and even 14 days time period is given for an auditor to listen to his side by the court at the time of removal. Authority and approval. First auditor remuneration is decided by board. Subsequent auditor remuneration is decided by members of company. Removal, members plus central government approval. Removal for fraud, NCLT. Casual vacancy, board plus GM approval. Disqualification ledger, section 141. 141 is about disqualification of auditor. He is disqualified if shares held by relative of auditor less, uh, maximum the relative of an auditor can hold only maximum of 1 lakh shares, 1 lakh rupees worth shares. If he is, if his or her relative is holding more than 1 lakh face value of shares, then the auditor is disqualified. And indebtedness, 5 lakhs, up to 5 lakhs, guarantee up to 1 lakh. Maximum auditor assignments, 20 companies, means one auditor can do auditing for maximum of 20 companies. If any fraud is conviction is there on the auditor, he is disqualified for 10 years. And here also the exceptions are OPC, 1% company, dormant, not much active company, small company also. Penalty. In section 142, the penalties are failure to file resignation, then 50,000 rupees or remuneration for the auditor plus 500 or 500 per day. Ward tribunal order 5-year disqualification. Auditor default up to 5 lakh or 4 times his remuneration. Willful fraud, jail up to 1 year plus fine up to 25 lakh or 8 times of his remuneration. Rights and powers. Auditor has rights to access all the books all the times, access the books of the subsidiaries also. Fraud reporting mechanism. For fraud less than or equal to 1 crore, auditor has to report to board or the audit committee. Audit committee will come under section 177. We will see in the board of directors, meetings of board of directors chapter. Mandatory, if it is more than 1 crore, the fraud should be reported to central government. If it is less than 1 crore, to board or audit committee. Greater than 1 crore, report to board or audit committee within 2 days plus wait for 48 days. After that, report to central government. Every audit report should contain true and fair value and compliance of all accounting standards. Director disqualification section 164. Internal financial controls, delay in transfer of IEPS. For all these details should be there in report contents. Branch audit and standards. Branch audit section 143 subsection 8. Branch auditor reports to the main auditor. He should send his audit report to the main auditor. Auditing standards 143 subsection 9. Section 144 of Companies Act chapter 10. Prohibited services or blacklisted services, the services which auditor cannot provide. They are accounting or bookkeeping services, internal audit services, actuarial services, financial system design, or even any investment advisory servicing, valuation services like that. All these services are not allowed. And 145 and 146 are something like duties at general meetings by auditors. Auditor should sign audit report, it is mandatory. Auditor should attend annual general meeting, it is mandatory. Auditor has right to speak on audit matters, it is compulsory. And last section 148. 148 section, the cost audit. For the cost audit purpose, the central government prescribes some special cost items for some companies, and those details will be there in section 148. All the cost records, cost audit applicability rules, cost auditor exemptions will be SCZ, special economic zones, captive power. Exporting, if a company is exporting greater than or equal to 75%, then cost audit exception is there, not the complete audit. Section 148 is cost audit. This is all about chapter 10 auditors. And in the next chapter we will see board of directors very briefly, the all the numbers. That's it for today. I am doing this only for the sake of motivation, so that I will be revising, and others also, those who are listening or watching to this, can revise. Thank you.